One in favor of the Immortals. Once again, if you just tuned in, this is still the first map on Train. I'm Van Silly. Along with me is Dust, your hosts and commentators for tonight. Bolts, Zeus, Lucas Phelps, and Henny moving out of spawn for the Immortals. Again, they did have the AKs and now the AWP again in the hands of Henny. While for OpTic Gaming, Nafly, Rushtark, Stanislaw, and Mixwell on the defense, stacking 4 guys on the outside, and Stan is playing solo inside B, where that's where exactly Immortals are walking into.
Yeah, so we're going to see if OpTic are going to be able to make this defense work, as Immortals are working their way in here. And looks like Stanislaw is being patient. Yeah, whoa, this is crazy. No one even thinks to look up there. 2 people walked right by him, in fact, but it's an equal trade, so the bomb gets planted. But this deep push in from Immortals on the inner side's actually getting dealt with pretty effectively by OpTic.
Still a nice shot, though, from Henny. 3-on-3 as the bomb is planted. Bolts is still at where the bomb plant is. Thankfully for Stanislaw, is able to call out the 2 guys push towards that 2 train, so they were able to get the first trade, but there's still 1 on the other side of the hump, and that is going to be Zeus falling down from Tarek, but then Henny still connects with a 3rd op shot, and it's now a 2 versus 1. Rush moving out, Bolts on the other end, just by the spools, makes it 4-2 in favor of the Immortals, and brings the reset back onto OpTic Gaming.
So Immortals, again, changing up the pace and aggressive execute after a little bit of slower play. So being very diverse in how they approach this one, their playbook very deep. And it resets OpTic's economy again. This is the 2nd time they've had to deal with this. And that's always so painful as a CT to have your money thrown in disarray very early on in the half. It makes it so difficult for you to get back into the map. I mean, unless you can win a few in a row and slow down your opponent. As we see Immortals, they're not slowing down. They're just going to go straight for a rush to the outer bomb site. They've already done so much damage. Phelps even finds the kill through the smoke. Henny chimes in as well. And Immortals, they have control.
Tarek has a scout, does manage to tag onto Lucas. Here comes the flank from Stanislaw. Feet are spotted. Easy for Bolts.
That was the slowest push to the ladder. Remember, Bolts is like, yep, I'm here. All right, any day now. Okay, thanks.
5 versus 2, 4 versus 2. Nice headshot from Tarek onto Bolts, moving outside the ladder and pushed in by the Ivy side. It's going to be Phelps trying to get the jump scout. Does land a tag. And that's Lucas, Phelps, and Henny. All 3 of them low, but you can see how it concludes that it's going to be Immortals this round. So that's going to be 5-2. And Nafly's looking for that kill onto Henny. That could be very good here for him to be able to pick up this rifle left behind.
Yeah, certainly. He has armor and a kit too, so he'd pretty much be ready to go next round.
Could give that over to Mixwell. Mixwell, unfortunately, does not have anything to trade back. Well, he could buy himself with $3,700 if they want to go for some sort of force, because they also still have the scout in the hands of Tarek, and he's been landing those shots.
Yeah, I just don't know if you want to set yourself back this early in the half. So I think, yeah, they're just going to upgrade pistols around it. But again, because you save the op and you have a scout in play, you at least pose a threat, right? There's a lot of long sight lines on this map where these scout weapons can be effective. And so it certainly could give you a chance. And Mixwell actually going to take his aggressively into the outer yard, actually pushing all the way up to E-Box, being able to spot out both T-Con and ladder room from here. And he just continues to work up. He wants to force the play. He wants to make something happen. But all of Immortals are gathered up in the brown halls. They're not giving him any vision, any opportunities for a pick. But Henny, he's now going to start chancing it out here. But Mixwell's already rotated. In fact, it's a big rotate through enter. Yeah. No, only Rush here.
Rush is in a nice spot. They haven't really seen him yet. He's going to lean out. And thankfully for Phelps, he's already low. As he peeks back out, he's able to get that information. 1 at E-Box, 1 at T-Con. That's now a 4 versus 3. They still have the off in the hands of Mixwell. They still have the scout as well. The bomb's a bucket to get planted at a default spot at the A bomb site. So now they're setting up here. They actually have a big flank coming out from Zeus. Zeus is pushing all the way towards the inner, and that might surprise Nafly. Thankfully for Naf, he hasn't invested that much. Only until 5-7, so he falls. They still want to keep this op alive. So Zeus keeps pushing towards CT spawn this time. Bomb is going to go off. It's going to be 6-2. T side now for the Immortals on Train. And Mixwell decides to move back towards the Ivy side to try to save his gun with his teammate Tarek.
Yeah, I mean, you see Zeus was like working into CT spawn, trying to find it, but never able to discover it. So that's op will get carried over to the next round, but Immortals have a 6-2 lead from the T side of Train, so they're certainly off to a great start. Everyone has a bunch of money to work with. Meanwhile, OpTic, yes, they can buy this round, but if it doesn't work, they're right back to saving, and Immortals are probably up 8-2. So you can see how quickly this game could spiral out of control for OpTic if they're not able to start putting a couple of rounds together in a row.
Hopefully it could start now for the green wall. Start putting up your bricks. As looks like it's going to be an explosive play for the Immortals outside. Already the first one to fall is going to be the in-game leader of Zeus. Lucas is exploding down towards the bomb train, and just off the corner, Rush looks for cover towards Hell, but he gets picked off by his brother. His brother being Lucas's brother, Henny with the op. Looks back up towards the green train, fully blinded, gets the kill onto Nafly. Now the jump scout from Tarek at the bomb train. He gets the kill into Bolts. It's back to a 3 versus 3. The bomb is not yet planted, and we still have the op up.
Oh, this flank, though, from Stanislaw from ladder of Henny has no idea. He's going to get blindsided by Stanislaw, and that slows everything down. They can't plant safely anymore. Now they have to try to battle their way back into the round. That's a big kill. Phelps trying to reel it back in. He's going to get some help from Lucas, but now he's all alone in a 1v2.
And the bomb is down. 1 minute left on the clock. Still plenty of time for Phelps to try to clutch this 2 versus 1. One flash on his belt. Stanislaw and Mixwell have nothing, but they have the op. They have an M4. He's going to stay so far in what is called the new sandwich. And that is speaking about Bolts. Stanislaw is about to peek out. Trying to clear out the area, but sees nothing there. And they know that the bomb is down, I assume. They're playing it very, very passively, so they're possibly going to play a spot where they're going to let Phelps get the bomb plant. And then Stanislaw finally decides to peek out and sees him on the bomb train and OpTic Gaming. They needed to string some rounds together. It starts now.
Yeah, so Immortals trying to keep up with the aggressive pace, just trying to run something fast, but Mixwell with the op, able to open up things, and then Stanislaw, kind of the closer, coming in on that ladder flank, getting some big kills to secure the round for OpTic. So now it's 3-6, but again, that money reset's kind of looming over their head right now, especially with the double op. I mean, if they get set back here, I mean, Immortals are right back into this one, and they're not going to slow down. They're just going to rush right out ladder this time. Lucas leading the charge once again, but he's not finding that entry.
Through the smoke, and Rush going to work as well. But Zeus and Henny still alive here for the Immortals. Fully blinded as Tarek, and now it's a 2 versus 2. 2 riflers, the op still in the hands of Henny, misses a shot. Nafly runs away for some cover, and makes out of it safely. Oh, the kneecap, is he going to peek? No, he's not going to see it. But Tarek said, damn, I just threw in team chat, so I'm wondering where the mistake was here on the communication.
This was a 2-on-5, Vans, and now it's a 2-on-2, and there's still so much time for Immortals to play with. We see Zeus has taken this time to actually move around to Ivy. Will he just blindside? That's going to be the big question. The problem is he has the bomb on him, so there's no chance for Henny to bring this back if Zeus goes down.
He's not even looking at it, but the barrel sticks out! So now it's a 2 versus 1. They're about to lose a 5 versus 2. The bomb is now down. 36 seconds left on the clock. He's up against an opper. Oh, the balls. And he's down towards Hell. Picking up the AK-47. They're going to hear that drop. So he's going to play the angle, get the headshot, and clutch it here for the OpTic Gaming team.
Ooh, that almost kind of fell out of OpTic there. I mean, they had the initial kills. It looked like they were going to have a dominant round win, but Immortals got within striking distance of it, but eventually OpTic do stamp them out. So it's going to be 4-6. OpTic have won the last 2 rounds in a row. They've avoided the money reset, but it's still a threat. They're still low on money, but so is Immortals, actually. So this could really decide whether this becomes a tie game or whether Immortals doubles their lead. It all kind of rides on this one. Aggression from OpTic here. Tarek pushing all the way up. He's got rush for support inside the site. Immortals, a little bit more of a set piece this time. They're not just storming outer. They're actually doing some set smokes inside T-spawn. And it doesn't really necessarily tell you where they're headed, though the bomb is moving into Ivy, so it seems like they do want to split this outer bomb site from all 3 angles.
Meanwhile, Tarek has fallen back, so you see where the smokes are landing. It's a wall for them to be able to run out and get a plant in the front if they wanted to, but it's a fake. They're moving out towards Ivy, and it's going to be Nafly. At least he spots the bomb. Rush is going to have to turn around the corner. Gets the first kill. The bomb is now down. 2 more to meet up with him for the trade, but Bolt counters him from Olaf, and then Mixwell retaliates back with the AWP. Lucas now on his 3 versus 3 at the E-box. Mixwell fully blinded, about to get hunted down by Henny, who's moving up on the bomb train. He does get the first kill onto Tarek. And Stanislaw again just creeping on the ladder instead of dropping down. Second time. 3-on-2. 40 seconds left on the clock. He goes for that big flank. Was almost able to take down Zeus down to 12 HP. Unfortunately there, he gets traded back. Mixwell does get the op kill. It's a 2 versus 1. Nade, touchdown, 47 HP. forcing Henny off the bomb train. First shot connects, second one spots him now. Can he land this one? Down to 42 HP. He does have one more flash. That does not affect Henny. He's going to hear him. Moving around the corner here with this bomb train. The USP connects with the headshot. He gets the clutch on a 3 versus 1. Comes in for the defuse. Capitalizes on the 4K. And it is now going to be 6-5 in favor of the Immortals. But with this bomb plant, you could still see the Immortals go for a force buy to try to reset it back onto OG.
And I mean, with such a beautiful execution, Immortals run that triple smoke setup on bomb train, which usually means you're going to see heavy numbers coming out of ladder and T connector. And that's why you see OpTic positioning for that, yet it's a heavy Ivy push, the triple Ivy. And late players coming out of T-Con and ladder, they executed so well, but it just doesn't matter because Mixwell is just a madman tonight. He played so well against SK Gaming. And now here on Train, he's been the top fragger. He's been making some big plays. That's a big round to win. But Immortals, as you noted, maybe a chance to still reset the money. They didn't invest too much into this round. Just some upgraded pistols, but they've already found Nav and Stanislaw down to 8 HP. And so it's like every time OpTic makes something happen, they still can't really find themselves in a comfort zone. Like they can't find their footing. It's Immortals constantly putting the pressure on.
Tarek is actually going to push out. He's going to hear a few footsteps from T-Con. And he's already in there. He could surprise a few guys if they come back, but the bomb is walking inside the White Halls. You still have Stanislaw playing in there. He does have support from Mixwell at this time as well. So this gives a chance right now for them to set up and actually surprise Immortals on this play. There's 59 seconds left on the clock, and they're going to try to come down slowly down to clear out lower ramp.
Yeah, Mixwell does have his op already there on Z-Connector as well, so unless they do something to block his vision, he might be able to get just like a free pick on the first guy out of lower ramp, because Stanislaw has upper covered with the M4. As soon as I say that, Mixwell starts to rotate back halls because Zeus throws a couple of smokes over towards Ivy, so it pulls Mixwell out of position, but Stanislaw still hits his first shot, but the bomb's going to make its way in. It's going to get planted, and now we have a 4-on-3, and Immortals might be able to find a way to make it work with just pistols.
Oh, but Zeus is on the outside. He spots ones in the ladder room, so he's going to be able to call that out for Henny. So that's why you see him pushed up close range with the UMP for the armor pin. Might surprise him here. Does get the headshot onto Tarek, so it's a 3-on-2 on this big flank. Zeus gets the kill into Mixwell, so rushes on a 3 versus 1 with no kit. He's going to move back up towards the spool. He has to play the surprise factor again to return it back in their favor, but as he moves up, gets the 180 onto Bolt, a second one onto Henny, but cannot capitalize on that big flank from Zeus. And Immortals with this pistol buy, starting off from a deagle onto Lucas, from Lucas onto Nafly with the aggressive peek, spanks him, makes him pay for it, and they win it.
It's almost a team ace for Immortals. 4 players involved on that round, but Zeus is probably the one that had the most impact. That flank, being able to get the call out that there's a ladder flank coming so Henny could be prepared for it, and being able to come in and get a kill at the end. Really great stuff from the in-game leader of Immortals. And so now they have OpTic saving. Despite a 3-round winning streak, OpTic still don't have the money to buy guns in this round. They're going to get aggressive at Ivy, but we have Zeus waiting for this in terrorist spawn. Meanwhile, we have the outside push coming in from ladder room. Rush going to play up close against this smoke.
Stanislaw going long range with the CZ. Trying to connect there, but to no avail. Yes, let's see if this full smoke is going to work. Rush is looking back towards T-Con. Surprises Zeus. Lets him down to 14 HP only. And from behind, lands the bomb carrier kill. And it's back to an advantage for OpTic Gaming with pistols. So Zeus and Phelps, 14 and 71. Make that Phelps by himself at hell, and Stanislaw gets the 180 with the CZ. And they reset, well, they don't necessarily reset it back for the Immortals, but we might see another pistol buy for the Immortals, where this repeats pretty much the OpTic versus SK. We want to go back and forth with these force buys and simply not give up.
Yeah, this is crazy stuff coming out of this first half. I mean, we've seen each team kind of have a little 3-round winning streak going, but now they're going tit for tat in these last couple of rounds. It's very back and forth. Immortals still able to put together a decent buy here, though we do have the lack of utility is kind of the big thing. Meanwhile, plenty of names on OpTic. You can see the incendiaries going down T-Counter, denying Immortals the ability to do a fast outer without taking damage. But we are going to see that Immortals are going to be fairly spread out. They're working a couple of inner halls. They're working Bolts and Lucas over here towards Ivy. Phelps is just kind of holding T-Con, making sure there's no pushes coming in. So this is going to be the change of pace, right? Slowing it down, trying to work their picks.
And nade. Not really going to hurt much. Meanwhile, inner Henny is down to 43 HP. Phelps is creeping up. Tarek cannot react fast enough, but at least Rush is there at hell to trade it out. Now they're going to look back towards Ivy. They hear the spam coming through towards Ivy, but it's smoked out, so they're going to be forced to hold for a little bit longer for the Immortals. Meanwhile, the bomb picked up now by Zeus, trying to move back inner slowly, while an incendiary grenade is going to force Henny, again, back from 59, now down to 21.
Ooh. A little bit of damage comes in there. Zeus actually holding the op in place of Henny. That's not something I would expect. Actually gets to hit onto Mixwell through the wall, but Mixwell's the one who's going to get the frag. So now 4-on-3. Bolt's trying to sneak out Ivy, but Rush wise to it. And so now it's all on Lucas and Henny. Again, Lucas the one having the op. It's the other brother with it in his hands. He's already taken some damage from Rush. Tries to slide out, but can't find it. And now this round is all but over. OpTic are going to tie this game up 7-all.
Henny now just wants to give his position away. There's only 10 seconds remaining. He doesn't want to die with no money left after the timer. So now it's tied up indeed. We have a game, ladies and gentlemen. But it is still 7 rounds under the belt of Immortals on the T side, nonetheless. The Gamer are looking good here to take the lead in the first half, as we have nothing but Tech 9 and armor to result with for the Immortals. They do have smokes for wall of smokes if they want to, and an execution on the outside. See what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, just Tech 9s and a few nades to work with here is Immortals. They're setting up pretty similar to the last round, just, you know, having presence in all areas of the map, but we are going to see this big push out of OpTic into the brown halls. We have Tarek and Stanislaw both pushing through. They're even going to climb through the smoke. That means they're going to have such a fast flank through ladder room. Bolts may catch onto it, but no, Stanislaw finds the kill, and OpTic, they're closing down this outer bomb site.
Henny moving up towards all off now, spotted by Rush, but still stays alive for a bit. Meanwhile, Zeus is trying to come in for the big flank. Doesn't know that one's on his left. Meanwhile, his teammates have all fallen down. He's the last man standing on a 5 versus 1. Unfortunately, Napfly still cannot win a fight here. Almost gets the second one onto Rush. Survives with 3 HP. And OpTic Gaming takes the lead in this first half on train 8-7.
Yeah, so the half ends as close as it gets. OpTic with just a 1-round advantage as they go into the Terra side. But Immortals, they've done quite a bit of work. You look at the scoreboard. I mean, short of Naf having an off game, it seems like everyone else is checked in and playing a pretty solid game. Of course, a couple of people doing a little bit better than others, but when you look at the frags, you can see that both teams are doing pretty well on that front. I mean, a good T side out of Immortals in the sense that they were able to mix it up a lot. They had the slow stuff, they had the fast executes, but you just had some really big efforts out of OpTic. They, you know, Immortals would win a big pistol round, Eco, but then OpTic would answer right back with one of their own. You know, we had Mixwell with a couple of big plays with the op, so you had a little bit of everything you wanted out of that half. It was a very good game of Counter-Strike so far, but who is going to take control from this point forward? It's all going to come down to this pistol to see who's going to just edge out the other for the start of this one.
Moving out of the spawn now is OpTic Gaming in the lead. Nafly, Rush, Tarek, Stanislaw, and Mixwell. With them holding towards T-Con. A couple of guys towards the inner trying to sell a fake here, making a lot of noise. They've already forced a rotation from Z into upper, or to look towards upper, and that's Phelps. Meanwhile, though, they only have 2 guys on the outside, and everybody's converging back to explode at T-Con. So I have Nafly watching here for any alley pushes. But as this calms down, a rotation comes back in its default positioning for the Immortals. But we're still converging on the outside. They have a smoke and 2 flashes for Nafly, so they're going to utilize him for the support entry.
Yeah, he can smoke off Z and pop a couple of flashes over and just let OpTic swarm this outer bomb site. But Phelps has actually already slid out of Z into the bomb train, so he won't really be affected by that smoke. Could even go Heaven as well. That's an option. He's right by the ladder.
And he decides not to even go for a throw. They're just going to go straight out and rush inner. Meanwhile, they turtle back for the Immortals, so they're a little bit further under rotation from Z. But very passive play from Zeus and from Bolts, and here he goes. Zeus spots the first guy already, but nobody rotated yet. And they're going to go back towards the outside.
They're going to shuffle back, yeah. And it's like every time that Immortals get information, OpTic want to get away from it. And so now they're going to try to hit this outer bomb site through ladder room, but Bolts and Phelps and Lucas all coming into this one. They found all the kills so far. OpTic not finding anything. They have Lucas down low, but it won't matter. It's a flawless victory and almost a team ace out of Immortals to tie this game up now 8-all and a chance to take the lead now that they have the economic advantage.
That is so good, though. Because even though they got the first kill onto OpTic Gaming trying to sell that fake inner, they rotated whoever was on red train immediately towards the outside to have 4 guys from the Immortals outside already, before they even came down the ladder. So good calls here and good game sense for this Brazilian team to win the pistol round. They tied back up 8-8. They have the guns to their advantage. No submachine guns. They want to use their rifles for their range, with the exception of Zeus, who loves to play towards that lower ramp with the Mag 7. First one to fall, though, is going to be Stan.
Yeah, so we do see the force up from OpTic with pistol armor. They didn't get a bomb plant in the first round, so no real risk of to do this. It gives them a fighting chance. They can still buy on time, but Stanislaw has already been picked off here. We can see Phelps looking for more, as Mixwell has pushed up out of T-connector to blue train, but not being able to spot anything out of this deagle just yet, as all of OpTic are still pretty held back towards their spawn in inner halls.
Mixwell's trying to spot it out. Meanwhile, we are trying to make some noise inner at the same time. He comes up on the red train, spots one at the bomb train, sees one towards Hell, sees one towards IV, cannot connect to anything so far. Finally, they fall down, and Zeus going to work with the Mag 7, getting 2k there, and a touchdown nade from Bolts.
Yeah, it was just kind of Mixwell trying to cause a disturbance at outside and ensure that no one could rotate, and they were just going to try to storm the inner bomb site and plant, but Zeus and company shuts that down, and so Immortals now up 9-8, and OpTic will have to save this one pretty much fully. So Immortals should be able to find 10, and then they'll be able to work from that advantage on the CT side of train. So they're definitely starting to come out of this now. I mean, we've had kind of a scrappy start, but the smoke begins to settle, and Immortals are up ahead.
Zeus, unfortunately, only able to get 1 kill with the MP9. Big nade, though. Nap flies down to 8 HP, or 9, rather. Rush is at 8 HP. They don't know what to do anymore. They have no utilities to work down towards this ramp, so they're just going to body peek, and it's just going to be easy pickings for Phelps and for Bolts. Nap fly on the outside, and Lucas drops him.
So there you have it. Immortals will go ahead and start the gun rounds off 2 rounds ahead. It's 10-8, but OpTic, they're going to be able to get the AKs out. No ops going to be in play, however, and Stanislaw going to be a little bit handicapped having a Galil, but they still have plenty of utility. Curious to see what type of tactics they want to come up with here on train to kick this one off. They want to see if they can't fight their way right back into this one, try to tie it right back up. So we are going to see Mixwell, no hesitation, just rushing out blue train, just continuing to put the pressure on in this outer yard, looking for an entry.
Counter flashes coming through from the CTs, though. They have taken control of E-Fox as well. 2 towards the back of 5 train, and Tarek is going to be the one that gets the first opening kill onto Lucas at 5. More flashes coming through. OpTic Gamer are taking the upper hand. They have a 2-man lead. Rush is coming across here towards the bomb train, but from old bomb train is Zeus, and he falls down. Now it's a 5-on-2. Bolts at Hell. Spotted, taken down. About to be a flawless victory for OpTic Gaming. If Nafly can get this kill, it's going to be a team ace, and it'll be heavily needed here for him, as he still has yet to get a kill on this second half. That'll be a great way to get the momentum back. But things are looking good under execution for OpTic Gaming, while Henny's trying to save the AWP back towards the stairs.
Yes, I mean, nothing special out of OpTic. It's a really fast outer execute, but again, everyone who pushes out finds a kill with the exception of Naf. So good production across the board, really well timed, everyone on the same page, peeking together and just out-trading their opponent all across the board. Henny able to haul into this hop inside the inner halls, but when you go into this next round, we'll see what they want to do around it. Do they want to buy a second op? That could be an option. Train certainly a map where double op can be quite good. Or do they want to try to be a bit more conservative, make sure they keep a little bit extra money around for later?
See the meter going down fairly lowly. It's gonna fairly low rather. It's gonna be a force buy and an auto sniper.
There you go.
Sun's out, guns out for the Immortals. This is going to be fairly interesting. Lucas with his brothers, so it's going to be an op and an auto sniper watching Ivy and T-Con. OG are definitely going into that right now, but it's a wall of smokes. It's not green, but it's gray. Bolt still on the bomb train, forced to drop one on the floor. Meanwhile, Rush gets picked off, and they're working towards the inner bomb site for the rest of OG. So Zeus is inside by himself. Finally, the rotation comes in from Phelps, but Nafly falls. Big Molly forces him out of position from Z. And he's fully blind at the same time. He might burn down. He's 45 HP. Still alive here. Lucas on the other end from CT Salon making his way at the upper ramp with the auto sniper. It's a 4-on-4. Make that a 4-on-3. Tarek in the front of the B-bomb train gets that kill. Nice pop flash. That's going to blind all three of them, but Henny still connects. Auto Sniper then makes it a 2 versus 3, and the tides have turned. Immortals have taken the advantage, and they have the smoke. They have 2 kits to work with as well, and it's an Auto Sniper and 2 ops to try for the retake. There's the first one falling down. Lucas is moving forward. They're spraying across to get the kill. Last one is at the upper ramp. They're not going to get it. They're going to tie it back up for OpTic Gaming, and that was such an expensive round for the Immortals that might go on to a double save unless they get something going on with Phelps' AWP that he saved.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where the 3 snipers are great to kick things off, but when you have to try to retake the inner bomb site and you have 3 snipers in play, it's so difficult to be able to actually press in and be able to trade the way you want to. You want to take those long-range fights, and eventually you're going to get forced to push in, and they just aren't able to really get those close-quarters battles. So really well done by OpTic, a great fake. You know, the wall of smoke's an outer, but they actually just run through ladder to enter very quickly. Zeus is pretty much by himself. He gets 1, but that's all he can do. And so just a well-run round by OpTic, and as you noted, Immortals low on money, but they catch Stanislaw with a nade out. Luckily, Rush is quick to trade it right back, so they can't put that AK to use. But remember, Phelps does still have that op in the outer yard.
And Mixwell is going to bring that fight. Phelps is on the top of the bomb train. Hello? T-Tours? And he does get the headshot onto Napfly. Backstab then by Tarek for the trade. Mixwell still looking for some position here, but actually a nice molly is going to put Phelps back into position. And look at Bolts, so patient, waiting for the right moment to get that shot. Does not connect, unfortunately.
Mixwell with 1 HP.
Yeah, gets the kill. They're going to get the bomb plant. Phelps already running back to save his gun. Is at 11 HP.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do much here. They did a lot of damage. They had themselves a chance if Mixwell actually goes down. They actually could have maybe played that 2-on-2, but he stays alive just barely. And so OpTic will take the lead. It's going to be 11-10. So still a very tense game. We've never had more than a 3-round winning streak this entire match so far. So it's been quite a back and forth affair. And you gotta love it. It's the grand finals. Both teams in good form, both performing very well.
And both doing very well on T side of Train. So that's 3 rounds in a row on the second half for the Immortals, as you mentioned. Now 3 for OpTic Gaming. That's 3 explosions. So they've done a great job here for OpTic Gaming to execute and get the bomb plants, and so far even holding the plants. The Immortals now going for the gun round here after Phelps saving another round for the AWP. Gonna bring it back in full force with Phelps and Henny. Zeus with the Mag 7 one more time at the lower ramp, and he's gonna play that solo. Looking at OpTic Gaming here, they're just gonna split their grounds at the White Halls.
Yeah, we see Zeus pushing up with that Mag 7, trying to see if he can't find something early. There are several players just waiting to hit these brown halls, so he might be able to pick up the first kill. It's all going to be faster on the trigger finger. It's going to be Zeus, but Rush didn't peek out all the way, so he only does a little bit of chipping damage. Now he's forced to fall back into that inner sight. Still no one rotating from Immortals. Everyone's just holding their ground.
Exactly that. You see how much confidence they put into the solo hold from Zeus. Finally, as they execute towards the outside, they stay on the outside in a Russian lower, but thankfully Zeus puts down an incendiary grenade, and the execution comes from the top though. Big pop flash, that gives a chance for Zeus to fall back. Mixwell with the op shot onto Zeus as he eats the Mag 7 bullets and gets the second one onto Bolts. Doing a great job is OpTic Gaming at this point, getting the bomb plan, and the last 3 guys looking to save, but Napfly is chasing out. Does not connect with the kill. Unfortunately, Phelps takes him down.
Wow, so, I mean, Zeus did a good job to stay alive for as long as he did, but Mixwell's still too much to handle. 2 big entries with the op, and that's pretty much all she wrote for this round. Immortals saving everyone else. They have a double op they're going to be able to save into the next round, and you could see that they need to keep these guns because 2 players at $0, Zeus at 200, Henny at 100, only 2,900 coming in next round, so only Phelps would really have any cash, so this is desperately needed. OpTic, though, not chasing too hard for these kills. Content just to kind of sit back and let them have it. They will go up 12-10 now. So they've won the last 4 rounds in a row. That's the biggest winning streak we've seen so far this game. That's coming late at just the right time for OpTic.
It was such a cool pattern that we saw, too. Too bad they had to break it. And at the same time, thankfully for the Immortals, is that OpTic Gaming couldn't go on that hunt because 3 of them had very low HP. So it was like throwing their guns away if they wanted to try to get those kills.
Oof.
Now in this round, now another 2 op, 2 M4s, and a Mag 7. Zeus solo one more time. 4 guys on the outside, leaving kind of Z open, so they really want to focus on those trades from that Ivy protection. Even from anything, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Mixwell's already out all losses. To give him a little bit more angles to check, he's spotting this guy just crossing back and forth. Finally, he sticks around long enough for Mixwell to fit in a shot. So that's again Mixwell finding an opening pick with this AWP. And this is why I hate to see him not have it in his hands. You can see what the impact he can have when he is able to put the op to use.
Yeah, I think it just
Phelps
depends on the
evens
map
it up,
then.
though.
So that will slower the pace for OpTic Gaming, who will decide to walk back towards Ivy. Bomb making his way there as well with Nafly and a P90. They still have 2 mollies. They want to flush out and clear out towards the right side of the alley side, where you still have Phelps with the op, and also Bolts on the bomb train, and Henny opted from the back of alley. Weird enough that they're actually going for the body peek instead of anything else, and because of that, Stanislaw also falls down towards ladder room. Jump shot from Nafly with the P90. Makes it a 3 versus 2. Nade, he's going to eat that. Rush trying to flank across on the other side. Does not connect with the kill. It's up to Nafly only with the P90. No utilities. 10 seconds left on the clock. He's making it close to the bomb. 8 seconds left. I don't know if he's counting that timer, so he's just going to peek out. He's trying to just die now at this point. And Phelps is going to be the one that's going to get the kill. So it wasn't Henny. It had to be Phelps with the AWP to hold it back.
And he's done great work there. So it's now 11-12. The Immortals looking to tie this up quickly if they can, but still plenty of money here for OpTic to put together a buy. And they've been playing a pretty good T-side thus far. And they'll have full AKs, full utility across the board, so they can run whatever tactic they want. Meanwhile, Immortals are starting to catch up in money, but they could get reset here, and that would be very worrisome at that point for Immortals.
Good spot for Phelps to look upper. Unfortunately, Mixwell does not connect, and Phelps wins that fight from the spawn game. So early man advantage for OpTic Gaming. At this point, you might see them just decide to maybe work towards outer. Because Nafly from his spot is not really looking... Okay, now he's looking towards Ivy. He does have the smoke to set up here on the outside.
Yeah, again, Naf, the passive force of the team, just trying to kind of make sure they're not getting flanked while the rest of the team kind of becomes the main force to actually take control of stuff. Tarek, though, picks up that op from Mixwell. He's trying to also kind of keep vision over towards Ivy, as we do see Naf and company possibly setting up some smokes here for the outer bomb site in just a moment. There the smokes do come in, so all the smokes going to be on the bomb train. Looks like they're just going to follow it up by pressing into T-Connector. They're not going to do any type of fake here, but so far Immortals is just shutting them down. Lucas peeking over the smoke with the kill. Penny chiming in with the op. There's only 2 players left for OpTic.
That's the advantage there for the Immortals on the CT side. They can take advantage of the high grounds of the tugs to get those kills. 2 more down. Getting the bomb plant. Nafly down with the last man standing, rather. Gets up down by Phelps at the bomb train. Positive outcome is that they've lost 2 rounds in a row, but get a bomb plant. And with the economy that they have, they could go for a force buy if they want to.
Yeah, 2 players will be low, but 3 are sitting pretty when it comes to cash. They certainly could put together still a pretty solid buy. The problem is Immortals are starting to shut them down. We're seeing Immortals win some of their first gun rounds on this CT side. We're starting to see the ops really come out and do some damage. All of a sudden, Mixwell isn't winning his duels anymore. And so that's definitely scary news. And Lucas will pick up this auto sniper again. Again, it can be quite effective, but it makes it much more difficult to do retakes when you have this many snipers in play. So we'll see if it comes back to haunt him, as it did earlier this half. But OpTic Gaming do just decide to go on Tech9. They don't feel the pressure to have to force the issue now. They want to make sure they have a nice full buy going into the next round.
Mollies as well, so they're going to wait for this to dissipate. They're going to try to take control of it from a pop flash into smoke, and just molly back towards Z. From that first smoke, it might be the call for them to just still run through this once they do their execution. And here we go. Lots of people blinded as they make it down. Nafly is still stuck around the corner, but they've never spotted Bolts on the left side of the bomb train inner. And they're holding it strong. Triple kill for him, looking for a 4th. Rush is now the last man standing, and the auto sniper does stay alive for this take. And it was going to be the same scenario. It was going to be the 2 ops and an auto sniper. to try to go for the retake.
You got to think this changes OpTic's mindset on how they want to play this round, because now they know what they're up against. They know the double op is still in play. They know Lucas has the auto sniper again. So Stanislaw can try to think about a way to most effectively counter that. The last time they countered it by just doing a really heavy inner execute and forcing retakes on all of those scoped weapons. So that could be something they think about doing once more. But right now we actually see 2 players going over towards Ivy. Nath with just an up, and he's with Rush, who's going to have just a typical buyout here. Meanwhile, the op is in Mixel's hands once more, looking for a pick outer, but Henny going to take down Nath very quickly.
Auto sniper there from Z, you can hear it blasting on the outside with the echo. Flash preventing Henny from getting to pick onto T-Con. Mixwell is going to fall back with his team. Rush is still committed to try to open up towards Ivy, but Phelps still strong with the AWP. Also back at T-Con. Molly coming out from that was salvaged before from the previous round, and the Ivy take gets lost here by Rush. It's up to Mixwell and Tarek. It's a 3 versus 2. There's still a minute to work with, so they could take their time for a bit.
Yeah.
But Phelps is definitely the guy they have to try to take down. He's been on fire with the op on this half.
Yeah, he really has been. He's up to 23 kills. The bomb is going to get planted here. Immortals, content to concede the plant, but they still have the main advantage going for the retake. But Mixwell, he cuts off Phelps in the CT stairs, so is Mixwell going to have another one of his big rounds? He's had so many throughout this tournament. Is it going to happen like this once more? He's actually going to flank Lucas in the back halls, but that means Tarek is going to be left alone for so long until he can get into a better position.
And he gets it. Sand just made me laugh. I'll just make the sound he made. Tarek got the kill. He went, oh! And then Lucas retaliates back with the auto sniper to get the headshot. It's a 1 versus 1. Has no idea where Mixwell is at. And it's going to be the bomb going off. And OpTic Gaming, expensive round, but ties it back up on a 13-13 scoreline.
Yeah, Mixwell again coming up big. Another multi-frag round on him with that op in the outer sight. Despite the fact that Henny and Phelps were getting those opening picks, Mixwell stayed alive, played it patient, eventually worked his team back into the round, and now we're tied up at 13 all. So again, as close as it gets at this point. I heard it.
Well, I'm just saying they're full buy-in again. 2 offs, auto sniper here for Immortals. They bought all the way down to 0. Same thing for OpTic Gaming. It's going to be a big round from both sides. Anyone that loses this round here with no gun save gets reset, and it starts off to be in favor of the Immortals.
That's a great player to take down early if you're Immortals, as much as Mixwell has caused problems for Immortals throughout this map. And as you stated, this round's pretty much a 2-for-1 deal. Whoever wins this has a much easier avenue to map point until their opponent can buy again. So a lot on the line here. Want to get that first map in this series. Give yourself the advantage going forward in this grand final. Again, lot on the line. 10K for first place, 4K for second, and of course for the glory. You want to win that title for the pride. We do see OpTic Gaming trying to regroup after suffering that opening pick. You see a lot of presence in the inner halls right now. Tarek just watching for a push T-Con, but everyone else is forming up by these brown halls.
And it's Snafflight that's going to pick up the AWP. And he's actually towards that ladder room. He's staying very patient towards the Ivy side to see if they're going to come out with that op from Ivy, and that was held by Henny. But as he does not budge anymore, decides to fall back. The 3 guys will try to sell a fake, actually. The bomb is walking back towards T-Con. Stan has to get a kill, Rush has to trade it out, and they both die, unfortunately.
Yeah, fake doesn't really work if you can't get any kills. That just means the outer players can stay in place because the inner defenders have done their job. So 14-13, now in favor of Immortals. Money very low on OpTic. They can do a pistol armor buy and still have money for next round. Actually, no, they really can't.
Nope.
They're just going to have to do 2 force buys in a row because they don't want to play OT. That's looking really good for Immortals then, actually.
You know why? Because there's never much love when we go OT. You don't listen to Drake, eh?
I do, but I didn't recognize that line for some reason. I'm sorry.
One dance?
I failed you.
It's like the second line. Anyways, OpTic Gaming trying to move out now, and it's going to be Pop Flash running through the smoke. Tech 9s across the board. P250s as well. And it's going to be Phelps and Henny. The Opera is holding down the grounds on the outside. Now they spot one towards Hell. Stanislaw at least gets the kill. Lucas not connected with the auto sniper. But And now Stanislaus, the last man standing. They're going to stick the defuse. Actually, it's just a tap. Stanislaus was able to get the headshot onto Zeus, but they're going to come back in for the defuse. With 3 guys alive, plenty of money to move into the last round, or map point for the Immortals at least. What you could come out on top here for OpTic Gaming is more utilities as you get the bomb plant with this 15-13 scoreline.
Yeah, so it's just a double force buy choice here from OpTic Gaming. Makes it much more difficult. It's an uphill battle for them, but they didn't want to have to play for OT, but now they're forced to. Yes, the plant comes in. That helps them buy a little bit more, but it's still 3 umps and 2 Tech 9s. No ops, no AKs. Mixwell going to be limited because he's been so reliant on that op to open things up for OpTic on this side. He won't have it at his disposal, but they're still going to try to go for this fast outer execute once more. It's all that they can do, it feels like. Phelps already on the quick flank. Everyone else in position defending outer already.
Phelps pushing up on the stairs. He's going to be on the big flank. Nafly first one to fall for OpTic Gaming. They're going to get the plant, but Phelps is always on this huge rotation. He's going to be able to surprise him right now. The bomb has been planted. At least they're pushing forward for OpTic Gaming. Can they stay alive in this game? Bolts on the top of heaven. First one to fall on this retake is going to be Rush. Rush cannot hold it. Zeus gets a second kill. And now it's all up to Stanislaus. 4 versus 1, actually. He has a UMP. Thankfully, he's got smokes on both sides. He spots the first one, gets the headshot. Lucas trades it back with the auto sniper. And the Immortals will win this first map 16-13.